I'm Fatima.
No. Okay.
No.
First of all, it's been 4 weeks. It hasn't been that long.
Sorry, we meant to do the cold open.
No, it's okay. Let's go right into
Oh,
it. Just go right into it. We're already here.
I'll stop. So, my symptom of what I'm feeling, or you're supposed to ask me how I'm doing.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you how you're
So
doing.
ask me how I'm doing.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Besides the fact that I just totally messed that whole thing up. Told me about add on to my pregnancy symptom being pregnancy brain, which is very much a thing. But besides that, and forgetting how I record podcasts, I just haven't been sleeping. Honestly, I think that's the pregnancy brain, is that
You're not sleeping.
you're so tired. And so you act like a delirious person. And then you get to continue that in the first few months when the child has arrived. So you're just overly tired.
Have
so
you
you're
really
breaking.
fully recovered from Liam, though?
No,
So,
I have not. Which is like new thing. I said to him one time, I said, if you get up in the middle of the night, just come see mom. Mommy and daddy are right next door. Come see mommy and daddy. I don't think he did it the first time. The first night. It's like, he's like, didn't hear me.
No.
Then the next night, that's exactly what he did. And from then on, he's been coming to see mommy and daddy.
Because the first time he was standing over you.
Yeah.
And now, since then, it's climbing right into bed.
Climbing right over and being like, hello, this is my spot. So the combination of that, obviously, him sleeping in the bed, it doesn't really bother me too much, except I have to watch because he's a kicker.
Mm-hmm.
And he likes to flip his body. He just moves all over the place. Like the bed is his...
Circus performer.
Yeah. So I have to be careful because my stomach, so I can't switch sides as much. And my hips have been killing me, so I have to switch sides throughout the night. The pillow's not quite doing it for me. Like sometimes I just want to throw it because I don't think it really does anything anymore. Because one night I actually ended up, I was like kind of a little bit from my side on my stomach. And then I got up and I'm like, my stomach going back into position or whatever. It was like somewhat painful. I was like, this is like the most uncomfortable thing ever. But so that's just been my struggle. I can't find a good position to sleep. I have a third person in the bed. I consider my pillow being one person, then Liam, then Brian. So it's a party in there. So it's been a little bit difficult sometimes. For a while, for like weeks, you were sleeping in Liam's bed.
Yes.
So I had the entire bed to myself.
Yep.
And now I'm like, what's happening? Like I have like a tiny little corner. So that, then, my hip issues and getting up to use the bathroom, just sleep has been horrible. So whenever, like, you'll come out from putting Liam down from his room and I'm like already lying in bed. Like all last week you found me in the room.
7:20.
Yeah. A couple of times I fell asleep even before you came in. I would wake up, we watch a little bit of our British Bake Show, and then I would go back to sleep. Like, so I've been just trying to find moments to just sleep like that and just relax, because when I go to lay my head down on the pillow for when it's supposed to be bedtime, it's not working out. So I'm tired.
Well, British Bake Show is a great show to watch.
To go to sleep to.
But it also puts me to sleep.
Yeah.
I think their voices are so soothing.
Yeah, totally. And it's just like you want to stay up and you'll end up rewatching it when you get up, but it is so good to go to sleep to. I'll probably watch some of like old episodes and just have them like put me to sleep. But so yeah, that's been my issue, is sleep. And so therefore my brain is not working too well.
Well, my brain today, I came in the house, took off my shoes, took off my socks, and then threw my socks in the garbage.
And you have no excuse. This is unless it just rubs off and it's in the air.
Yeah, that's
you really
probably
just
what
have
it
any
is.
excuse. So I don't really know what's going on with you.
I don't know either. We'll see how this episode goes.
Yeah. I'm Fatima.
And I'm Brian. You're listening to Millennial and Pregnant.
While we're talking through another pregnancy, This time we're doing it with our 3-year-old.
We think we know what to expect this time around, but somehow it still feels different. It still feels new. It's okay, keep going.
Today we're talking about nesting and what was missing from our to-do list.
And our minds.
Yeah, we're losing our minds too.
If you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need in one place. In fact, this season of Millennial and Pregnant was produced and hosted on Anchor. Here's what I love about it. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. This made it easier for me to edit my episodes on the go. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Well, now we're just like,
we're just going to wait.
Whatever.
I know.
I'm so sorry.
What is it? It's week what?
For you, it's week 30.
Week 30.
It's been a while since we checked in, and I feel like we just checked in last week, and it's been 4 weeks. So time has gone by, and I don't really know what we did in those 4 weeks, to be completely honest.
I think it was a really busy 4 weeks for us. We busy with work. I just felt like other things were coming up too. Well, we did our fall little pumpkin thing. Yeah. I had my shoot.
Oh yeah, you had your You
I
had
took my
maternity
photos.
Shoot. Yep.
I went to the office a couple of times. So it's just been a lot going on, and we broke from our normal just home.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah, maybe that's what was it.
And now we kind of we broke it up. Like we broke up what we've been used to for the last 18 months. Going on like past 18 months now. Yeah. It'll be 2 years in March of just, same kind of I'm home. And that's it. So that I feel like that's kind of what made the 4 weeks go by fast. But I mean, week 30, that...
Like now we're like officially in the third trimester, because I had a little bit of miscalculation last time.
Yes.
We were talking about the third trimester,
yeah.
So we can actually say we are in it.
We're in the third trimester. We're soon going to be down to the single digits when it comes to how long we have until the baby comes, and then soon I'll be next month. Yep. So it's right around the corner, and I feel like this is when like I don't want to say anxiety, but this is when it's like, ooh, this is getting real. Like 30 weeks, like this is,
I've been feeling that too.
And physically, I'm like, yeah, you're pregnant. Like, what's going on here? So it's just more. I think it's kind of. For me, I'm like, I'm slowly getting out of that. Like, oh, this is so cute. Let me dress up my bump. Like, I'm just like, no, I don't need to take any more photos. I'm so glad I'm very glad I took our photos so early on, because I don't know why I did it at this state last time. Actually, it was much further along.
Well, last time we were planning to do it a little earlier, but you couldn't.
Why?
Because you were in the hospital.
Oh, but even then, I did it sooner than that. Like,
I know.
I'm so happy I did that.
But we ended up doing them so late last time was because it was 4 weeks later than what we wanted to.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was like 2 weeks right before you gave birth.
Oh, goodness, I cannot. I can't even. But, and then like this time around, though, I'm lucky because just my job, I think I'm going to be able to like breathe a little bit more towards the end, which is nice. And so I'm kind of hoping this baby bakes past the 37-week mark. One being because my doctor's going to be on vacation for like literally the 37th week. He's out. Like, so I'm like, please just, even if you just make it to 38, we're good. I think it's 30. Is it 37? It's the 37th week.
37 to 38th.
Yeah. I'm just like, what? I'm like, so I have to really actually pray for at least 2 more weeks. He's like, it doesn't mean that you're going to have it again 37 weeks. And so I'm also thinking about just my general environment that I was in last time and what I was doing. And I was kind of like crazy. Like it was just like, the baby was just like, Liam was just like, okay, mommy, like you need to chill. So I'm going to come knock, knock. And it's just so fitting that he came on Mother's Day and that he came earlier. If you meet him, you know exactly what it means. So maybe I'll have him more. Maybe the next one's more chill. Although he is chill, but he's stubborn or he tries to get his way. Yeah. So he definitely wanted his way. He does get his way.
He does get his way.
Somehow he negotiated from no Oreos today to 1 Oreo.
Oh, you only gave him 1?
Only gave him 1.
I always give him 2 after school.
Because somehow, I don't know who introduced him to Supermarket Sweep, hosted by Leslie Jones.
You did. I didn't.
I did not introduce that to him. You did.
I did
because
not.
He no longer had Leslie Jones on the Celebrity Wheel of Fortune. He really enjoys watching her.
This kid, he's 3.5. Mm-hmm. He first of all, he loves Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah.
Period. Then there was the Celebrity Wheel of Fortune. I'm like, this looks fun.
Yeah,
let's watch the first episode because it's not just a half hour; it's like a whole hour. Mm-hmm. And it had Leslie Jones, Tony Hawk, and Chandra Wilson. Mm-hmm. From our favorite show, Grey's Anatomy. And so when Chandra showed up, he's like, Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, of course.
And like, how did you know this? But then
this Leslie is so freaking hysterical on that show. He just gravitated towards like her personality. Mm-hmm. And then Supermarket Sweep, I think Hulu just served it to us because maybe Leslie, I don't know.
I think it's because
because we kept watching that Celebrity Wheel of Fortune episode. That was the only one. Then he started liking the Terry Hatcher episode, which might have been either the next one or a few later. But those were the only 2 we would cycle through, mostly Leslie Jones. And then because of streaming rights and only having 5 rolling episodes up at a time, we lost the Leslie Jones episode.
Try explaining that to a child. Because of the streaming rights.
Due to streaming rights and the contracts on this show, only 5 rolling episodes can be up at a time.
It's like, I don't understand it. I don't,
so
I don't get
it. 2 through 6, not 1 through 5. And so by Leslie Jones, then Supermarket Sweep popped up, and there was only one particular episode that he loved watching, but got really into it. That also, due to streaming rights, is gone. So now we've found another favorite episode of, I think it's season 2.
Yeah.
But he loves Leslie Jones. This kid.
Well, so now he's into the Supermarket Sweep thing. And then I say this all, you just did a whole in-depth thing, but I say this because on why he negotiated only 1 Oreo, because we're in the store and I wanted to see how cute he looked in this little mini chair that we saw at Marshall's, this little couch chair. And he was like trying them all out. He was so adorable. And he's like, oh, this one rocks. And this one's like, because it like was like a little mini rocking chair. And so then he's like, oh, I don't want to go back in the shopping cart. And I was like, okay, you can hold mommy's hand, right? So he's holding mommy's hand. He seemed to be fine. Then we were trying to make our way to the cashier, and he just bolts and he runs and he's laughing because he thinks it's like funny. He's like, 1, 2, 3, go. And I'm like, 1, 2, 3, go. What? And I'm just like, oh, you think this is Supermarket Sweep. Like, you think that people run through the stores and just, laugh and, go through the aisles. Like, he was like, this is great. Like, I'm in Supermarket Sweep. So I'm just like, oh, God, I have to explain to him that we don't run through the store. He just wasn't understanding that. So we have to just reiterate that. So anyways, after that, he did it 2 times. Me, pregnant old me, running through the store to catch the 3.5-year-old. He did it to me twice. And so I was like, no Oreos. And so we get in the car after we cashed out. And
how much was your cart? What was your
No.
cart total?
No, we're not doing this. And he's like, Oreo? And I was like, no Oreo. And he's like, oh. He just starts crying. So I'm just like, okay, I can't talk to you if you're crying because I don't understand what's going on. So I was like, let's go home. And so we pull in, we park, and he's like, Oreo? And I was like, you can have one Oreo because we did not go to get your usual Oreo after school because we went to the store, but you usually get two, but because of what you did, you're only going to get one. And he's like, one Oreo? Two Oreo. And he puts his two fingers up, and I was like, no, one Oreo or zero Oreos. He's like, 0 Oreos? I was like, that's not good. That means no Oreos. He's like, 0 Oreos. I was like, no, don't you want one Oreo? He's like, 0 Oreos. And I was like, no, I think you're really mistaken. Like 0 means nothing. And I was like, you're going to get one Oreo. So then we go upstairs or whatever. Still trying to negotiate the 2 Oreos. He's like, 2 Oreos? It's like, no. I was like, you can have one Oreo and another thing. How many times did I say Oreo in this whole thing? This is not a sponsored post, and people could do a drinking game from this. But anyway, this is my conversation with a 3.5-year-old. Like, we said Oreo so many times. And so finally I was like, you can have one, and then you have a side of something. And I was like, do you want popcorn? He's like, apple. And I was like, even better. So one Oreo, and I'll slice you up some apple. He's still like teary-eyed while he sees me preparing his snack, putting it in his little duck bowl plate that he has that's sectioned off. And he's just like not understanding. He's like, one Oreo? Like, this is crazy. Like, that is the general vibe that I was getting from this 3.5-year-old. And I'm just like, I'm sorry. I actually didn't say sorry. I was like, this is what happens when you don't listen to mommy. And so then we sat on the couch, and he, starts eating the Oreo. He still has like one little tear that's going down while eating his Oreo. And I was like, what do you say? And he's just like, nah. I was like, say thank you. And I was like, looked at him. He's like, thank you. And I was like, you're welcome. And then I walked away and left him with his one Oreo. Anyways, that was my day. And I'm wondering, I'm tired. I don't know why I'm so tired, because I don't sleep. And then it's these circumstances. So that was my experience, 30 weeks pregnant, running through the store because my husband wanted to get our 3-year-old into supermarket sweep. So
now
I won.
Imagine they had supermarket sweep for home goods. Like, what would you go and buy? Like, you can't lift up a couch. Like, what's the expensive stuff?
I mean, honestly, you can get a lot of room in your cart with getting a ton of candles. And some of those candles can be pretty pricey.
True.
And those $9 candles.
True.
And, I mean, what other
maybe the
things
sweaters? Maybe, like, the clothes?
Maybe. Those are more I don't know, yeah.
Because the furniture is too big for your cart.
Yeah, it's just not, it's not the ideal store to
I
be doing
know,
that.
I know.
You go for the meats, you go for the cheeses, you go for the diapers.
Or imagine if it was like a home goods supermarket sweep, but you had to have like the lowest cart total and the most items.
Oh, wow. That's a good
like
one.
Bargain shopping.
You just gave out an idea.
Well, they heard it here first. But so, yeah, week 30 in your 3rd trimester, it's been a lot of fun to see those jabs and kicks and your whole stomach contort.
I think they're just running.
With him moving.
They're definitely running out of space. And yeah, my body.
Oh, no. You have like 8 more weeks of space.
No, yeah, okay.
At least 8 weeks.
But you can see, like, I'm just sitting there, and you can see my stomach just like, boom, 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 boom.
Like the other night when it was like, boom.
To do because I have to start doing the kick count. So my doctor wants me to do, within a 2-hour span, the baby's supposed to kick 10 times. And I'm like, that happens in like the first 10 minutes of me just monitoring it. And it usually happens like towards the time after we put Liam down, and I'm either sitting down calmly on the couch or in bed. Like, they just go crazy. So around like the 8 o'clock time frame, it's just like clockwork. And I'm like, is this going to be this is like what's going to happen? Like, we're going to put Liam down and this one's going to be like, ah! and like go crazy. But then
Maybe
I
you
think,
should switch your working hours
yeah, you always say that. It's just not. It's not going to happen.
to make him feel like he should be sleeping when he should be, and then you can pop out and he'll be sleeping, and he'll know what day and night means.
I think he's probably even confused because I've definitely been less active than when I was with Liam. Like I was go, 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 go. And
Yeah.
here I'm just like,
No
I haven't left
commute.
the apartment in 3 days. So I think that at the same time, he's very confused and he's just like, when is it actually bedtime? So it's only like, there's like the time when I was actually out and about more when I went into the office, my belly was like constantly moving. It was like weird. I think they were just like, this is a lot of motion. And it's waking me up. So like maybe I think that was maybe the thing is
That'd be
that
interesting.
now they're not constantly being rocked.
Yeah,
They're
Maybe
just
like
being soothed on their own. They like being still. And that's I'm going
that'd be
to
an
sleep.
interesting pandemic baby
Yeah.
study to see like what were sleep habits like for babies born during
Some people
this
are like, there's
18
no,
months.
we don't like the whole thing, pandemic baby. Well, because people like post the whole videos and it's like, oh, these pandemic babies are different. And it's like the baby's like holding their neck up at like 2 weeks old. And I'm just like, you guys are just slapping this on here. This baby is probably not 2 weeks old and just has a stronger neck. Like they're such a huge spectrum that like
Yeah.
you can put a baby on development wise. So it's not because of that. But maybe the sleep thing or the need for motion thing can definitely be looked into
Interesting.
to see.
I
But
don't know. Not a scientist.
I'm not one either.
So, in terms of development and size, the baby is a large cabbage. I wish we were able to record last week because it was the size of a butternut squash. I just thought it was kind of fall themed. So like 15 and 3/4 inches. The brain nipples, the brain triples.
Brain nipples. Okay.
Weight.
I was like, that's interesting.
In this time as the brain growth and like all those little ridges start forming to create room for the brain stuff. Bone strength in the body for the baby, so good to continue eating calcium rich foods to continue that growth. You love your yogurt, which we just found that honey flavored Chobani that
God,
seemed to be
love
out of stock everywhere
Finally,
since the
it's here.
pandemic started.
Yep.
And then skin pigment starts to form, and they should be able to start seeing dim shapes. So their eyesight. For you, my love,
Tell me how
you're just
doing.
swollen everywhere. That's
cool.
everywhere. So take off those rings.
I know. As I look it down, I was like, actually, yeah, that looks a little swollen.
Gas, bloating, possible hemorrhoids. Check. Lightheadedness, frequent lightheadedness due to your blood pressure changing and your heart rate. So also causing fatigue.
Yep.
That with
I would
daylight
say I
savings
really haven't
times.
doing the being lightheaded. I mean, as a couple of times I kind of was like, oh, I stumbled a little bit. And
That's probably your center of gravity.
yeah, that's my center of gravity. But lightheadedness, I'm always really mindful of just like not jumping up like
Yeah.
too fast, which I think most of the time that's where that comes from. But yeah, swollen feet still there.
And the mood swings.
Oh yeah, no, none for me.
Okay.
I haven't noticed them. Have you?
No.
Yeah, right.
No. Are we doing a live Instagram after this?
I think I get very easily annoyed.
That's it, exactly.
I get very
So I don't
easily
know if that's a
annoyed,
mood
and I don't really care if I voice
I don't know
that
if that's a
something
mood swing. I just think
annoys me.
you're very easily annoyed.
I'm just like, why does it smell like eggs in this apartment? Why, I forget there was something you
Why
did.
is
and
it
I was
sunny
just like,
outside?
No. That's not what. I'm not that bad. I was just like, I forget what I said to you the other day, and I was just like,
ooh. And then I was looking this up, the 30 weeks. I'm like, oh. Okay.
Oh, and we were in the bathroom. We went to go brush Liam's teeth, and you had been using the bathroom over there because you were just doing your bike rides later. Mm-hmm. And so I was on meetings, so you would get ready in the other bathroom. And I was just like, why is there hair all over the sink? And I just knew that how I was saying it was not the greatest, but also I was very annoyed. There was hair like all over the sink, and I just cannot stand a dirty sink.
I know.
So I had to say that. I went to go get, and I wiped it down, and I wasn't happy about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the same thing I was
thinking
of.
But see, don't trigger me, and then we'll be fine.
Yep. Cool. So, changing topic here. Over the weekend, I, for whatever reason, just felt like organizing things and starting to reevaluate like Liam's stuff and identifying like what could stay, what needs to be getting rid of. I just feel like it just hit me how close we are. I'm
glad this is all a surprise for Brian.
I don't know why. It just it feels real now. Not that it was never real, but I think it's now like, okay, now you really have to, like, we've just been doing things and getting ready, and now it just feels like, okay, like we gotta now finish the list.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like,
like things.
It's what's on my mind.
Looking at things that, like with Liam's stuff and his toys, and just being like, okay, like the space in the living room is going to feel a lot more crowded when you have a floor mat, a swing, maybe a pack and play. Mm-hmm. So we kind of have to clear this space and be able to have him put away his things fully. So there was some, bigger things that always kind of just like laid on the floor or whatever else that were just like, we have to put in storage, and like maybe we'll take it out, maybe it'll end up being donated later, and even just like the annoying toys, like I'm pretty sure I'm going to like put away his ambulance has truck, like that just can't it just can't stay, and just little things like that, just because I mean, there's so many other options. I don't want to take away all his toys that has noise, but there's some of them that it's just like, okay, if you start playing this and the baby is sleeping, or I just need peace, that's just not going to be that one. I might just throw out the window. So let's just avoid those type of things. So we've been evaluating his stuff there, some of his clothes, but even last week, I was just, or this past weekend, going through, I reorganized all of his drawers and like went through his closet and like folded and situated that. And I was like, oh, we have a good amount of space for diapers for the new baby and clothes. So I was like, I think I'm feeling good with the storage space in his room. I think we have sufficient stuff there. And he's been like a rock star with his potty training lately. Yeah. So we've been like full blown, potty training. Like we went outside with cloth underwear. I don't think you guys understand. Like we forgot we had him on there because we typically, if we're going to the store or something, like let's put on our pull up. But I realized that he had a really big attachment to them, and it's because he just felt comfortable. Like if he was to have an accident and stuff. So you went and you got the additional training underwear for him, and it's been a little bit of a struggle still with the number 2. My mom was by the other day, and she was like, he half pooped in his underwear and in half, and then she's like, I got him to the toilet though when he finished there. And I was like, okay, that's good. Yeah. So we're getting somewhere. But he will hold it in. Like he won't poop for days. Yeah. Until like you see him, and I'm like, I see the cues. So, he's holding, he's going and almost like holding his little butt. And I was like, what's wrong? He's like, nothing. And then I'm just like, no, you have to poop. I know you have to poop. And so it's just been this like I don't
know.
understand what it is. If someone can please tell me why kids have such an adversity to pooping around the potty, that's our only hurdle we really, really need to get over. And maybe I'll finally flip through that book of, oh crap,
book
your
I
potty
bought
training. Yeah. Because they did mention something
months ago.
about kids. It's not something new. It's not unique to Liam.
Yeah.
But there's something about poop that they don't
Yeah.
they don't
know.
like doing it. So
Yeah.
on, outside their diaper. So just doing little things like that, that's been like nesting in a way. It's just
Yep.
making sure he's situated there. Because I would really love to stop buying those expensive pull-ups.
Yeah.
I think we're kind of close.
I think we're close. We didn't have to buy them for this month.
Yeah.
Because
we have so
we've been
many.
doing the cotton underwear.
Yeah.
Or
Because
just underwear.
that was also one of my, I think, like slight mood swings, kind of going crazy. I was like, no more pull-ups. I just was,
Yeah.
so it's like, no more. He's like, pull up. I'm like, no. I was like, it's like, you're a big kid. You feel better. And we were washing clothes like crazy because he kept having his accidents. But now besides a couple of poop incidents that you've had, he hadn't had any like pee incidents.
Me personally.
Yeah. Brian personally, his poop incidents. Shouldn't probably say that too many times. People don't want to hear that word. But so there's that. What else have you been doing?
I mean, we were talking about, okay, remember we made that list of, okay, here are the things, I think we talked about this a few weeks ago. Here are the things that we like still need to get. So we went through those lists and like just put together a registry because it was like, we're going to have to buy this at some point. Let's just put a registry on. You get some free stuff. I think we talked about this last time. And as we're going through the list, we realized how much we actually needed. And then looking at what we already had and then realizing, actually, we should just replace like the towels, for example, that we got, that we upgraded Liam's towels and looking at the towels, that we've worn through for how many years. We were like, okay, we should probably just get new towels.
Yeah,
like, there's only so much we can.
There would have been a difference if we
pass down.
If it was like they were only 2 years apart and
Right.
like it's like we just had the baby, but I'm just like, no, like we had a kid almost 4 years ago. Like soon after when the baby's born,
Yeah.
Liam's going to be turning 4. So, and yes, we were still using the same towels, which I can't even tell you how many times we had said, let's get new one. And we just never did. And it's just like half the time we dry him off. I'm trying to wrap him in it. He throws it off. So I think
Yeah.
it's just in my head, I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
But now like as he gets colder and stuff and he's just like, I'm so cold. And I'm just like, I barely had any fabric to wrap around him with the towel. So I was like, okay. I was like, Brian, we need to go. After our pumpkin picking thing, I was like, we need to go get him some towels.
Yes.
And so we got him some new towels. And then we're like, okay, now these kind of look raggedy because we used them for way longer than we should have been using them. So yeah, sometimes and it's nice. So it's like have that refresh, and we donated them. So hopefully, it can be used by someone else or be recycled or whatever.
But yeah, I've just been kind of my like antenna. I've just been up for looking out for deals, and we have the Snoo, and they had a sale on all of their wraps, and it hit us that that Velcro over the 6 months that we were able to use the Snoo with Liam, that Velcro just like worn out, and we wanted to like, and he was
also
a little Houdini.
busting out of them
Yeah.
also. Yeah.
And we just remembered like how worn they are. Even though we saved them, we're like, oh, there's, we can't just buy them. We have to keep using them. So then they had a sale and it was like amazing.
Yeah, because we got 3 of them for
like the price of one. So
that was
small,
amazing.
medium, and large. So things like that we've been looking out for. Thank God not thank God, but like, now that we're at the end of the year and Black Friday is here and holidays, everything's going on sale. So it's just kind of taking advantage of those deals. And then, we started a registry with, we had one on Amazon, then I switched it over to Target, and they're offering like all these other discounts, up until your due date. So, out of the stuff that we're gonna get, and then still need to get. We have some pretty good discounts. But we also bought the baby the first clothes, which is kind of exciting.
I know. I think that last time, well, one, we did buy a newborn outfit, but it was from, I think, H&M. And H&M stuff, I realize, runs a little bit bigger. Like, you start understanding H&M can be really, really big compared to, like, the same size as, like, a Carter's or something like that. And then Zara can be kind of in the middle. So I learned, like Liam's clothes, none of them all says just, like, 2 to 3T. Some says 2 to 3T. Some says 4T. Old Navy, runs a little bit smaller or true to size. So I'm, like, able to actually get things there. But, we were in Target, and I was like, oh, this actually looks even smaller than the outfit that we had gotten him from H&M. So we got, like, the newborn. I would only really buy, like, a couple of newborn things because, honestly, the newborn size, they grow out it so quickly.
In like 2 weeks.
But we did get a cute little outfit there, and then they had, like, a, like, safari type jungle animal themed outfits, and I just was like, this is cute, and I just love the gender neutral theme going. And then a cute little hats to match, and the little baby hand mittens and socks. And I was like, I just kind of went crazy there and bought a few stuff. But we still need to go through our bags in the storage to see what kind of things are worn. Because in our heads we had, the Velcro is worn. Well, the Velcro is worn. The towels are a little worn out. So, like, you want to pass down as much as you can, but things that are, like, in decent and okay shape. Like, I don't really think there's going to be much toddler clothes that's going to be passed down to this kid because he's on his knees all the time. He creates all these holes that I had to change his pants out or put shorts on him when he's home, which FYI, please do. Because I looked at his knees and I was like, why are your knees so worn like that already? And it's because he's always playing with his damn trains or just, like, on the floor. So I was like, we're barely going to be passing anything down from this age to the kid. Maybe shoes. For whatever reason, he keeps his shoes nice. Yeah. But everything else,
true.
shoes and jackets and maybe hats and gloves and stuff like that. But T-shirts and pants, this child is very hard on those things. So, we've been just kind of seeing the little things that you're like, okay, maybe I was holding on to that. It's a little bit too tight.
Exactly. So we have to go through, and then that will truly be, I think, we'll be in the spot and probably gonna take everything out of storage, like, at the end of this month or beginning of next month.
I guess end of this month we were saying, right?
Yeah.
We were gonna try and start doing that. It could be, like, a little annoying because you have so much. We don't really have. The only big piece that's coming is the snoo. The snoo, and if you want to bring the swing.
Yeah.
The snoo and the swing, which we don't necessarily have to build the swing right away. We can throw it in the closet for a little bit, because everything else is in Liam's room already. Like, the crib is already put up because it never got taken down. We put, like, the side back up on there, and
that's true. I just converted it, like, a couple months ago to the toddler bed, and then I had to put the gate back up because we got a new bed.
He was sleeping good in that bed too.
He was.
Whatever. Just like, let's go sleep anymore. Yeah.
And then the other thing about having this, registry stuff to keep track of, and they get discounts, is it's just helpful when someone asks, like, what do you, like, can I get you something? It's like, oh, actually, I have a registry. Here you go. Here's the link.
Yeah. Because or else people just kind of, like, decide for themselves, and then you just have a ton of clothes. Yeah. Because people love to dress your baby. And I'm just like, you can give them a diaper or some wipes too. Like, and they also love pacifiers. So, and you're like, oh, but there's only certain type of pacifiers that are good or that we want to use. So this way we can just, here you go. this is what we want. If people stray from the registry, just know I might not use it.
That was kind of the reason to have it, because you could just kind of say, you want to help, like, that's great, thank you. Because at this point, it's like we're just kind of doing it on our own. And then I think, with these 8 weeks left and the anxiety, I keep saying 8 weeks, that's not right. 10 weeks left. It's going to be 8. That it's just now I'm feeling the anxiety. I don't know why, but, especially because we're still in a pandemic and the stress of that, I think it's so important to take time for yourself, and not for you, but for you and your family and Liam. And you're at home, you work at home, even though you're home, work is at home. And so I think, being able to, last week I had a couple days off and Liam and I just like went and did a bunch of stuff and errands, and the whole week just felt so long because we were just doing so many things and we were out of our normal routine that, like, it felt like I was on vacation for like 4 weeks. So I think it's like, being able to get out and being around people, maybe not just to talk to, but also to talk to. So like going into the office or just taking longer walks, around the neighborhood. As things are starting to reopen, either try to go into the office when we can. I'm trying to find a day that's free, just to like kind of step out of the house. But then like we, do things that you love to do. So Liam and I baked pumpkin since we last checked in. We baked pumpkin pie from scratch. He helped me with that. We cut open a pumpkin, baked it, and then scooped it out and made puree. And then
I think it was mostly you, but you guys also
he did
made
quit
apple
halfway
pie.
through, and then we made the apple pie. And then like getting fun things for Halloween, like we dressed up in our matching Halloween PJs.
Please clarify that was just Liam and you.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, Mommy didn't get matching
Daddy
pajamas.
asked Mommy, and Mommy said no.
Yeah, but still, you still get them. Then I get these photos of them just being cute in their little matching pajamas, and it's like, oh, look at this single dad doing it up. Where's the mom?
No. Mm-hmm. And then I think it's just like remembering, like for myself, remembering to just be in the moment more, putting the phone down, being present. Mm-hmm. Liam's been so into painting lately, so I've just kind of been feeding that bug and sitting down with him, participating, and it's been therapeutic for myself. Like, you see how many plates that I painted?
Yeah.
I'm like, this is actually really nice.
I was like, is this for Liam or is this for you?
So we were doing watercolor on paper. One of my favorite things that I did for Halloween is I drew spider webs in white crayon, and then we watercolored the paper, and all you could see was like the color, and then because it's the wax of the crayon, the paint didn't seep into that part, so it was like a really cool spiderweb moment. Even when I'm in like the drop-off line at school, sometimes to like not be on my phone, I see like all the other parents on their phones, and I'm like, what are they doing? Like it's like 5 minutes.
It's like, it's so bad because you're just like, sometimes I purposely leave my phone in the room, like in the morning. This morning, I didn't take it out there with me, or I'll just put it on the kitchen counter, and then I'll leave it there for the entire morning. And sometimes I'm like, by the afternoon or lunchtime, I'm like, where's my phone? Because you have to be cognizant because your kid is seeing you on the phone. So what are they going to do? They're just going to bury their head. And Liam will call you out for it too.
I know.
He would be like, okay, like, hello, excuse me, mommy, excuse me, daddy.
Yep.
So you have to, especially at this age, you cannot be on your phone all the time.
Yeah. Did I tell you? I didn't tell you this morning. I'm walking back from getting coffee, and a lady almost ran into me with her stroller because she was on the phone.
Yeah.
Looking down. I'm like, do you?
Those people.
She also walked into the street off the sidewalk, and I'm like, what are you doing, lady? Oh, yeah. So, but then I think, for yourself, Fat, for pregnancy, like, you have permission to pause.
Yeah, I do.
To not get up so fast. To take a breath. To unplug. To go for a walk because you haven't left the apartment in 3 days.
Well, in my defense,
go for a walk.
when I didn't go for a walk, it was really cold.
I know.
So that deters me. It's not like not wanting to go outside. Although my mom yells at me if I don't like leave the house. She's like, you have to leave the house.
Being in nature for like 30 minutes every day is just good for your brain. So it's good to be outside and get fresh air, even if you go up to the roof and get rest, which you have been. I've been, when I put Liam down and get out around 7:15, 7:20, you're passed out already. So that's good.
There's my rest.
And then talk to me. You can talk to me.
I talk to you all the time. Like, this is like, what else? Sometimes just like, why haven't we ran out of things to talk about? It's like, wow, I still can just keep talking to you.
We're not going into the office
yet.
We have a ton of things
it's been almost 13 years and 7 years married.
It's been
13? And a 2-year pandemic. And so for some reason, we have not ran out of things to talk about. So I guess that's a good thing, right?
Yeah. Wow, I guess it has been 13 years.
Yep.
Wow.
It's going on 13 years.
Oof.
Yeah.
Wow.
We were babies. You're such a different person after 13 years. I mean, after so many years has passed, going into your careers, having children, you really change and shift. It's kind of crazy. So I'm curious to see the shifts and changes that will come with a second kid. Because you're just like, this one is just so perfect. And they're,
so
we
perfect.
love them so much. Like you're just like, your first kid. And then you're right. Entering a whole nother human being, their spirit, their energy into this world. And you're just like, oh, like what else can I create in this? What else can I what else concoction can I create? Right. Because that's like, that comes out, what is this personality? Like, are they going to mirror Liam's a lot? Will they have their own? My mom was like, oh, wow. She's like, you have a Taurus and a Capricorn. She's like, whew, good luck. Because she's like, those are very two headstrong like characters. So I was like, I feel like there's going to be a ton of similarities with these kids, just given their signs, that it'll be like a little bit of a repeat, but there'll be there's definitely going to be some differences, right? Because they're their own person, but I feel like they'll be two peas in a pod when it comes to what is your dominating personality. I feel like they'll be very similar in that way. Yeah. But we'll see.
It's exciting. And then I think about that too, and having this other child. So like now I'm gonna, oh wow, and I really have to balance everything. Juggle. There's no balance. Juggle.
Yeah. And this is why I create, I feel like I'm more mature in how I'm approaching it, because I'm just like, you have to create boundaries, like a lot. Boundaries with personal relationships, boundaries with work. Like, people know. I don't care if I'm in the middle of a conversation. I'm gonna be like, it's 5:45. Like, people know you won't get a hold of me until 7 again. 7:30. If we're going through something. And plus, at that point in time, if you're gonna work late that night, you're working late, so you can wait for the hour and a half and for me. So I'll stop replying at a certain time and stuff like that, and everyone knows it's on my calendar. So I'm very, very rigid in that, because I'm like, I don't cancel. I really barely ever cancel meetings to, have to pivot with Liam. Like, he, like, okay, watch TV, or you're at school or something like that, so I can go on a meeting. So why am I shifting my time with Liam so that I can accommodate work. So my calendar, managing your calendar is like so, for me, is so important. And if you're not the one who's driving that home, then people will just be like, oh, that's just a time on that person's calendar. Who cares? Nope. They know that like that's blocked off. And everyone don't even pretend it's like another meeting. I'm like, nope, it's bed and bath time. And everyone's like, okay, do not answer anyone. Like people who report to me, even my boss, they can Slack me all they want. I'm like, I will get back to you. And I typically do. Just has to be a little bit later, and nothing is ever like super urgent. So having a second kid is going to be, you have to do that even more, especially if you're working part-time from home, or else it's just going to be chaos. Like chaos. So yeah, that's my little TED talk on that one.
Cool. I think that sounds good.
Brian's looking at me like I'm crazy.
No, I think boundaries are important, and you're teaching me ways. Mm-hmm. You really are.
Maybe he'll take my advice next time.
I will. I always do. I think that's it for this week. Yeah. That sounds good, right?
We'll see. Next time I'll be
probably another 4 weeks later.
Right. Given our track record, it'll be another.
Who knows how many episodes the show.
By that time, I'm just going to be like,
end up being
every other word. I'm just going to be like trying to catch my breath.
Yeah.
That'll be the next symptom, because it's starting to come on a little bit more where I'm just like, I'm talking. I'm just like, oh, I'm very winded. So yeah.
So maybe we'll just cut it short so you can catch your breath.
Yes. Okay. Let me catch my breath.
Cool.
That's all for this episode, but make sure you're following the show so you know when the next episode is out.
Check out our website, liliesandloafers.com, for cooking and DIY inspiration and more updates from our growing family.
Millennial and Pregnant is a Lilies and Loafers original podcast. It's hosted by me, Fatima.
And me, Brian. Original music by Purple Planet. Thanks for listening. We'll see you soon.